You know, I hate how the Dolphins constantly play these, close score games and give me heart palpitations. It is up, Finn fans. What? The Miami Dolphins beat up on the Denver Broncos 70. I will say that again as I pull up the stats. 70-20. No one in their right mind would ever predict 70-20. Like, you kidding me right now? But before we jump into anything, I do have to shout out some people. First and foremost, Sean Seipler, love you, man. Clean the World. I talk about them all the time. Great organization doing great things, helping people out with great kits with soap, socks, toothbrush, shampoo, toothpaste. Check them out, cleantheworld.org, link in the description. Also, Mojo Fantasy. Go check them out. It's a great website. It's a mix between fantasy football and the stock market. You use the promo code DDW, you get 100% matched up to $100. So you put 50 in, they'll give you 50. You put 70 in, they'll give you 70. Go check them out. You can click on the QR code here, take your phone out, or link in the description. Go check them out. It's a great app. Essentially, the way it works is a prop bet. Say you had you had Raheem Mostert gonna rush over 80 yards, and you were like, he's going over, and then all of a sudden throughout the game you're like, hey, it's gonna happen. You let it ride. If not, you sell, you get your money back. Well, not your money back, but you make money still. Check them out. Mojo, thank you so much for sponsoring. Speaking of stats, let's jump into this because there's a lot to talk about. We'll start with the away team. Russell Wilson, 23 for 38, 306 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not a bad game from him. Javonte Williams, 11 carries, 42 yards. Receiving-wise, Cortland Sutton, 8 catches for 91 yards, long of a 25. Jerry Jeudy, 5 catches, 81. Marvin Mims Jr., 73 yards on 3 catches. They only sacked Zero sacks on the game. 0. And we'll get to that stuff. Then we're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, 23 for 26, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 155.8 passer rating. Put respect on the man's name. I don't care how the opponent is. You put respect on his name. He did what he had to do, and he balled out. Even Mike White came in. 2 for 2, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. Thing of beauty. Let's go to the running game. The team as a whole rushed for 350 yards. 43 carries to 28 pass attempts. That's what I like to see. Devon A-Chain went off. He was due. Absolutely due to go off. The rookie went off, 18 carries, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns with that 67-yard long touchdown run. Even Raheem Mostert, 3 carries for 82 yards. Chris Brooks came in, 9 carries for 66 yards. All 3 of these running backs had over Devon A-Chain, 11.3 yards per carry. Raheem Mostert, 6.2 and his 3 touchdowns. Chris Brooks, 7.3 yards per carry. And then you look at the receivers. We did not have Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle wasn't out there. You had Tyreek Hill, 9 catches, 157 yards and a touchdown. You would think at some point they would stop him. They didn't. You had Robbie Chosen with his 1 catch for 68-yard long touchdown pass. You had Raheem Mostert, 7 catches for 60 yards. Braxton Berrios, 2 catches for 33. Devon A-Chain, 4 catches for 30. Let's talk about defense now. You had Javon Holland, 2 forced fumbles. And then Andrew Van Ginkel-Caterco scooping up those fumbles. We only had 1 sack on the game. I'll get to that. I will get to the 1 sack. Bothered me. We had the interception from Emmanuel Ogbah. A thing of beauty. Oh, and the Denver Broncos, got to give them their credit. They did have a kick return. Or a punt return? Kick return? Punt return? kick return for a touchdown. Let's talk about this flipping game. Dropping 70 on them. 20 points for the Denver. 7. At one point, the Miami Dolphins took their starters out. All of them. I'm talking all of them on offense and defense, and we still scored 2 touchdowns without our offense and defense out there. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. 70 points. We were in field goal range. We decided not to kick the field goal. Instead, took a knee on 4th down and gave the ball back to the Broncos. Class act by Mike McDaniel. Mostert was asked about it. Hunt was asked about it. Tua was asked about it. A class act by Mike McDaniels. Now, don't get me wrong. I wanted the record. I wanted to have the most points scored in NFL history. I wanted to kick the field goal. I will take second. I will take the second most points. Same thing with yards. Let's pop that up. Recap. Gamecast. One more time. Scoop. 726 total yards. They are second most in the NFL. 0 turnovers. We punted the ball once. Once we punted the ball. You scored 10 touchdowns? Yeah, you only punted the ball once. We were converting 3rd downs. There was points where we were at 1st and 15. I think at one point it was like 1st and 20 something. I honestly can tell you I was not worried about it because for some reason this offense was doing whatever they wanted to against that Denver Broncos defense. We did what we wanted to. We had the ball for 33 minutes and 21 seconds, 30 first downs. It was ridiculous. Now, lots of good that we were talked about. I need to get to some of the bad, right? Connor Williams got banged up. He got taken out, and Jalen Phillips got taken out with an oblique injury, right? Connor Williams had his 2 penalties. Other than that, snaps were fine. Even Liam Eichenberg came in at center. Snaps were a little all over the place, but still, it still worries me, right? The part of this game that worries me is the defense. Now, the defense held them to 20 points. Obviously, it had a huge factor in the fact that the Dolphins scored 70. But I will say this. We cannot get after the quarterback. We can't finish what we start. We can't sack the quarterback. And it's bothering me. You're going up next week, and yeah, I'm going to enjoy this win because this is a win you take a day and a half to enjoy. We're going to deeper dive into this tomorrow. But you can't allow for this to happen next week against the Buffalo Bills. You have to sack him. And you have to get after him. Because if you allow Josh Allen to run around like a chicken with his head cut off, he's going to make plays. So I don't know what they need to do, but they need to figure it out quick because we need to get more sacks. We sacked them once all game. Like, we got lucky with the turnovers and we made the stops when we needed to. And smart plays. But they need to produce more sacks because them not producing sacks is worrying the crap out of me. Outside of that, I wasn't too mad with the defense. Obviously, 20 points, put up 70. But the defense needs to start to click. And again, I told you this, though, in preseason. I give it till week 4. So, Giants game is where we should see more, right? Next week is week 4. We should start to really see something click. They should start to figure this out. Do they need to add a pass rusher? Do they need to move on from somebody? Do they need to do something? You add Bradley Chubb. He's not doing anything. He needs to wake up and start to get more consistent sacks. A lot of things aren't working. That is worrying me because I expected them to work in the offseason, and they're not. So the defense needs to wake up there. Outside of that, Teron Armstead being in, Tua had all the time in the world to throw. He was making throws. They came... They came and with the statistic, and they do this every time, and it kills me, right? Because he was about to set the record for consecutive passes, completed passes, and of course they put the stat up there and say, "Oh, Tua's on record for beating Ryan Tannehill for consecutive passes," and he misses, right? So I'm like, "Oh my goodness, like you're killing me here." Then they were like, "Tua hasn't been sacked all game," and I'm like, I said to my dad, I was like, "Watch him get sacked now," and he almost did. Right? Drop back pressure in his face. He kept going back, and he found Tyreek Hill for a first down. Tua's on. I don't know what it is, and I'm just glad he is, but Tua's on. The people who said Tua sucks and, Tua this, Tua, they got to own up to it. I understand it's 3 weeks, but now it's 3 weeks of consecutive good play from Tua. They got to own up. All the detractors and all the haters and all that stuff, they got to own up to that. Maybe they were wrong on Tua. Some other stats, and again, I'll talk more about this tomorrow in the deeper dive. Tua has won 10 straight games against Super Bowl winning coaches. It stands as an NFL record. He still plays Belichick, Doug Peterson, Mike McCarthy, and Jim Harbaugh, but they're doing their thing like a chicken wing. Miami Dolphins have tied franchise record for 4 rushing touchdowns today. This is the 12th time in team history they've totaled 4 rushing touchdowns in a game. First time since September 16th of 2013 versus Oakland. It's just an all-around beautiful win. This was the first time in a long time. I understand, like the Browns game, we could have sat back and enjoyed it. Even the Texans game, we sat our starters, but started creeping back a little bit. I have never in my life been a Dolphins fan and experienced something like this. 70 points. It was easy on offense. Like the defense was making me worried here and there. Like we were up by 7, then we were up by 14, and then we were up by 11. I'm like, oh, come on, defense, you got to make stuff. And then we just kept scoring. They would turn the ball over. We would score off of that. They'd turn the ball over. We would score off of that. We just easily kept scoring. And I'm like, I did 70 push-ups today. 70 push-ups and 7 crunches because I saw TD, the Dolphins mascot, doing crunches on the field. Like, this is a beautiful game. All around, 90% of the team did beautiful. It was just great. Raheem Mostert running like a crazy man. Then Devon Achane, 200 and something rushing yards. Then they take the starters out. Brooks is breaking them off. Chosen gets a nice long touchdown pass from Mike White. It was just one thing after another. It's 1st and 15 or it's 3rd and this or whatever. And we convert and we convert and we convert. There was the 4th down going for it that I was like, I don't like the play. I don't like it, man. This and that. And the defense stops him. Pushes them, actually. The penalty pushed them back and the defense stopped them, and boom. No harm, no foul. I noticed that the past 3 weeks, either a turnover, whether it's an interception or the turnover on downs, the defense comes in and makes the stop. No harm, no foul. And I love it. It's a complimentary. Keep playing this hard. Keep playing like you're playing, and it's gonna be crazy. Now, I'm not saying anything. I'm not predicting anything, but you drop 70 on an NFL team. I don't care how that team is playing. I don't care if they're 0-2. You drop 70 on an NFL team, people are going to notice. Now, heading to Buffalo, Buffalo thinks that they need to prove a point. They ain't going to drop 70 on us. Oh, they're high and mighty on their high horse. They're going to have to come to Buffalo. We're going to shut them down. Got to stick with it. Play hard, especially on offense. Show Buffalo who we are. You're heading up in Buffalo in September. Let's get this W. Huge win. Love it. Enjoy it. I'll see you guys. I'm going to do the best of later tonight, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow with the deeper dive. And we got a lot to do this week. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. Offense up.